Are you one of the many parents out there that has troubles trying to balance a healthy lifestyle while raising kids, running to work, doing all the crazy things that you need to do? Do you find yourself wondering, is there a better way for me to eat more healthily? Is there a better way to make sure my kids are eating more healthily? I'm Jalen McKenna, and with me today, as always, is Nick Gumpert. In today's episode of Dad Life, we're going to be talking about the food that you should and should not be keeping around your home in order to promote a healthier lifestyle, how to surround yourself with the right kinds of people, and most importantly, we're going to be talking about how you as a parent can model the proper behavior so that you and your family can live a healthier lifestyle and your kids pick up those better habits. So join us for this week's episode of Dad Life on how to create good eating and exercising habits.
Welcome to Beyond Real Estate with Jalen, the podcast discussing parenting, real estate, and business. Every week, we go in depth on how to become successful in business and life. Jalen, take it away.
The first thing that we wanted to jump into is going to be the topic of food to keep on hand to better promote that healthier lifestyle that you and your family are wanting to achieve. Nick, I'm going to throw this one right to you. What are some of the foods that you basically can't live without? And are they healthy? One, and two, are there healthy alternatives that you've tried?
Chips, jalapeno kettle cooked chips.
Ooh.
Not healthy, very dangerous.
Entire bag dangerous. That's how dangerous they are.
Sun chips, right? I think there's salsa verde. Anyway, it's another type of chip that is dangerous, not just for a few, but an entire bag. Granola bars. I'm a fan of granola bars. Brie is not. And granola bars, I don't know. There's, I guess, the idea that it's granola, but then it has the syrups or the sugars. So I don't know that you can win this day and age unless you do go like full organic. But with that said, things are okay if you're not using them exclusively and in massive portions, right? It's making sure you're not finishing that whole bag when you're snacking away. Snacks aren't bad. It's how much you have at one time that makes it bad.
When you were talking about granola bars, I think most people can agree, even though the sugar content might be a little higher than what you're necessarily comfortable with, it is a better alternative to just chowing down on some chips or that candy bar. My family is very guilty of it in the sense of, I know that if we buy it, we're going to eat it. So I think I'm a perfect example of what you just shouldn't have on hand, because one, you have to know yourself, and we'll be getting to this later on, setting those better habits for your kids and being a good model. But some of the things that I always like to keep on hand are washed apples. So as soon as we get those apples, we put them into a bowl that is easily accessible for everyone, and they're already pre-washed. Almost there's not a reason to not just pick one up and eat it. The same thing with granola bars. We keep those at a lower level in the cabinets than we do the things like the chips or the cookies. Right now, Costco has the Kinder Buenos. Have you ever had a Kinder Bueno, Nick?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. They are delicious and they are not filling at all, which means you eat way more than you should. And each one is like 160 calories. The dad bod is really going there.
We're taking people down the wrong path here. About,
ignore all that. It was awful.
Yeah,
it was awful. Don't do that. I think one of the big eating habits that a lot of people can easily or more easily implement are things like scheduling dinners or having a protein in mind that you know that you're going to have that dinner with. Monica and I, we will thaw out one or two pieces of meat, and then we know for today, what do we have thawed? Okay, that's going to be what we cook dinner with. So even though we don't necessarily have a particular dish, we know the dishes that we can make or that we're comfortable making with that piece of protein. So it gives us more of a starting point than if we're just like, I don't know, I have the entire fridge, I have the entire pantry, it's late, okay, screw it, let's just go eat out. What's something that you find yourself doing that is able to promote those healthier eating habits and by healthy eating habits of not eating fast food? What do you do to avoid the fast food bug?
I think you touched on 2 points there that I'll reiterate, which is making things easy to have access to. And I think we do the opposite with things we shouldn't eat, but we have such easy access to.
Yeah.
We're just like, I know that's not good for me, but I'm going to put it on that shelf that I look at first. I think that's more of a subconscious thing versus I intentionally want to eat unhealthy, so I'm going to put that right in front of me. You just do it because it's easy. Right. And then where does your brain start going to easy? It wants the path of least resistance. So if you make those healthier food choices easier, to access. Like you said, you wash the apples, you put them out in front. So you're seeing it. It's not out of sight, out of mind. It's in sight, in mind. So I'm a little hungry and I should eat that. And you know what? It's right there. So I'm going to do it. Dinner. You talk about planning a little bit. It creates a little bit of a conversation, you and your significant other, of, hey, what do we want to have on a Sunday night? What do we want to have Monday through Friday? And then maybe Saturday is your eat out. But at least you've now designated that eat out day. You've already prescribed it versus, again, you don't do anything. It's 6 p.m. You've had a long day at work. You're just like, let's just go grab that. Right.
Time for some pizza.
And why did you go that direction? Not because it was a hard decision. It was an easy decision and you didn't plan it all. I think it's two simple things, right? Putting things that are healthier in easy places to access, and 2, planning. You don't have to really do anything. You can sit in a chair while you plan with your significant other just to say, let's map out this week and our day to eat out is this day, versus the default of saying, I don't know what we're going to have. And you're telling yourself that every day out of the week.
Yeah. And your pocketbook will thank you for it too.
Yeah. And then you're complaining about how you can never save money and life goes on in the rat race.
What did we spend on? And then you look at your month and you're like, holy crap, that is in the 4 figures. So $1,000 plus of eating out. I know what we need to do for the betterment of our wallet and our waistline.
Let's segue into who we surround ourselves with, because sometimes that has a knock-on effect into eating more healthy, eating out, or what have you. Because I know my parents, for example, they try to be very mindful of not eating out. So I know when we visit them, they're very mindful of planning. Again, hey, what should we have? You're coming in tomorrow night. What do you want? So you're not defaulting to eating out and spending money and what have you. So the company you keep becomes a very important piece to that puzzle when it comes to eating and exercising. We haven't touched on the exercise piece, but you think of whether it's the sports you play, whether it's you as an adult trying to maintain your fitness levels, keep up with your kids. What voices are you choosing to surround yourself with? Because voices affect choices, right?
Yeah.
And that goes for both exercise and eating.
And that would be what you were talking about with your mom, the lovely Teresa. That would be a WWTD. What would Teresa do? And Teresa would plan that shit out. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Everything is planned to T. The T being Teresa. And as you get older, I think we all see those role models that we're like, damn, that person just crushes it as being an adult. Everything's planned out. They eat healthily. How the hell do they do it? It's those very simple things of surrounding yourself with the right people. 1, 2, creating a basic plan and sticking to it. To your point of who you're surrounding yourself with, I would point to, if you have friends that all you do is video game with them, or all you do is go out to restaurants to eat. Not bad friends to have, but if you're wanting to go for a healthy lifestyle, friends are definitely one of the areas that you got to take a step back. Friends should also be trying to help you grow as a person, just like your significant other should, just like your parents should, and just like you should be doing for your kids. So surrounding yourself with the people that are going to be able to foster that environment where at the end of that interaction with them, you're not like, God, I just took 10 steps back on my goals, or man, we just hung out and drank beers and the kids just stayed on their tablets the whole time. And that every time John comes over, that's what happens. Reevaluate. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? And are there people that are holding you back? Because that's not what a real friend would do. Surrounding yourself with people. Nick, have you ever had to cut someone out of your life?
Not that exact reason, no, but I've definitely seen other people that have needed to do that. So it's not to say I've been around perfect people, but there again, I've chosen to spend my time around other people that were like-minded within the soccer world that I was around for so long. So it was never difficult to play pickup soccer because I surrounded myself with people that wanted to do it. And we would extend it to other people, and those that didn't want to do it, didn't do it. So I didn't spend as much time with those people. So for me, I guess it happened more as by a default versus a conscious choice on my part. I just chose to do things I wanted to do growing up as a kid and as a teenager and in my college years. And I reached out to virtually all of my teammates for the most part, I think. And again, those that wanted to tag along were there to essentially support your interests without saying that directly. They're doing it through their actions.
Good for you on that too. I think that's something that a lot of people do have that troubles with, where they're like, they're a reliable friend. Just because they've been there a long time doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to evaluate the relationships. If this is your wake up call for someone that you know is not good for you, Every time that you go see them, they are not supporting what your goals are for the betterment, for just being a better parent and now setting a good example for your child. Surround yourself with the people that you want to become in some way, shape, or form. Almost all of them should have some amazing qualities that you want to adopt. Right into that one, modeling as a parent. Something that's super easy to say. We all know what we should be doing. We all know what our parents didn't do. So we're like, don't want to do that as a parent. I catch myself doing that all the time. I'm just like, I'm being my dad in this instance, or being my mom. And so trying to be a better role model. Nick, when that comes to mind, one, what are some things that you're just like, this is what I need to model for myself when it comes to Diego as he continues to get older? They pick up on shit so fast. It is absurd. My 4-year-old started saying yes, sir, to people. And I'm like, he got that from me because that's how I'll answer it to Monica or to him, my 4-year-old. Treat him with respect. If he does something or he has a question or has something like that, I'll go, yes, sir. And now he's started doing the same thing. And I'm like, didn't teach you that, but you picked up on it. So just reminded me, he's listening to me all the time and all the bad words. So that's another role model. But when it comes to healthy eating and exercise in particular, what are some ways that we can all do that maybe you can do better, but that you see a lot of parents can definitely do better with to be a better role model for their kid?
I think one of those pieces is that self-awareness, right? I think it's such a hard skill maybe to start if you've never had it. And that starts with looking in that mirror every morning, literally speaking, to say, is that the person that you want to be? Right? Because we all have that choice, just like those friends that we were just talking about, who we surround ourselves with. Ultimately, that's your decision. I think sometimes people don't want to take responsibility for that for whatever reason. Our excuses become better than our reasons. And with that being said, our modeling for our kids, our reasons have to be better than our excuses. I don't want to wake up. I'm getting older. Newsflash for everybody. Today is the youngest version of yourself that you will ever be again. So with that being said, I know one thing that pushes me to stay active is my son, because I don't want to be that parent. I've seen too many other examples in other people's lives where they either chose not to or weren't capable of not keeping up, but keeping up isn't even the right word. It's just doing something and wanting to play with them. So I know I've seen enough examples of what I don't want to be to know that those goals are a big driver for me personally, to say that's why I want to stay active. That's why I want to play in soccer leagues still. So it's just for fun, but it's still doing something. Right. And then the exercise piece, same thing. And my reason is because I want to be that example. I don't want to be that parent that just says, Diego, you need to work harder. And he's looking over me like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you got to get off your ass first, old man.
And I understand. I also feel like from a self-awareness standpoint, I don't have those goals anymore if I go out on a run or exercise, I have no care in the world to try to get a time or do as much as I used to. I have enough, I don't know if humility is the right word, but I guess it's self-awareness again to understand I don't need to run a 6-minute mile. I don't need to get everywhere on a soccer field like I used to. I just don't care anymore from a competitiveness standpoint, which I think
washboard abs are those out of it, or is
It's like, man, like again, I don't want to just become a blob for my kid to be like, wow, that's my dad. But I also, I don't care enough to do that. So
Diego's on the soccer field. He's like, that's my dad. Someone's like, is he behind the truck? And he's like, no, he is the truck.
For some of my driving reasons, Jay, let me turn that one on you. How about you for being a model for your kids?
Yeah, I think the model just comes to, and I know I like video gaming, and we've touched on that before. It's not the best hobby, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The biggest thing is when it comes to exercise is going out and doing actual activities with your kids that you enjoy. I think that's something that a lot of people think that their kids have to, like when they have kids, especially if they didn't want them, they feel like their kids are almost an impediment to the things that they want to do, where in reality, they shouldn't be an impediment. They should just be someone that you get to do that activity with as well. And so I've embraced that fully, taking my kids to baseball games. Last night, they had taken some later naps. So we were like, we'll push your bedtime back 30 minutes. And we went and played some wiffle ball out in a field. So daddy just blew the cover off the ball off of a tee. And it feels good as a dad when your kids are like, wow, that was far, dad. And then they want to go and swing the bat more. That's the kind of stuff that when you get your kids engaged and engaging with your kids, That's a part of the role model aspect. A role model isn't just some passive individual. Getting engaged with your kids, allowing them to cook with you and show them how to cook so that they have that life skill and they can make those healthier meals for themselves in the future. So they're not just relying on you, or else it's just the microwave dinners is the only thing that they can make if you're not at home.
I can hit the number 2.
Yeah. Beep. Sweet.
Yeah.
Diabetes will be served. When I think of how do you become a good role model, it's doing the things you should be doing and doing the things that you want to see your kids do, you constantly getting on them about. The only way by doing that is by showing them that's the only real way of existence. If your kids don't know eating out 7 days a week isn't the norm, then they're less likely to pick up that habit as they grow older, and they become less likely to rely on that bad habit when you're no longer around. That's my big kicker for this episode of #DadLife on how to create good eating and exercise habits. Nick, I'll give you final thoughts, and why don't you lead us on out of here?
The final thought is just to reiterate that final point. Actions will always be words, right? It's as simple as that. And we tell our kids that often. And I think it's just another reminder that we sometimes need to be like, I need to follow through. Thank you for joining us this week on this edition for #DadLife. Join us next week as we continue to keep this conversation going on another topic that remains relevant for all of us as parents. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks again for listening. If you want to hear more of Jalen McKenna, Colorado's mortgage dad, and his take on the Colorado real estate market, or just mortgages and mortgage news in general, check out the links below.
Also, check out the links below for more information on products, books, or references made in this podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.